Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cook. With me tonight is our co-host, Buttsy. He is fresh to death tonight with his black shirt and his white sunglasses. Welcome onto the show here, Buttsy.
It's good to be back, Matthew.
It really is. We're back in the Pull Hook Golf studios, and I am absolutely pumped about it. It just feels right. It feels good. We got plenty of lighting, right, Buttsy? That's what you said.
You could cremate in here. It's sat here too long. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Where the flies at?
That's what I'm wondering as well. But on tonight's episode, we've got the BMW Championship recap. We got some Ryder Cup talk. I know it's a year away, but we got some Ryder Cup talk with Keegan Bradley playing captain possibilities there. And then, we've got the Tour Championship preview. I told you, Buttsy, I was going to get him absolutely hyped about the FedEx Cup. And my God, folks, it is working. He is pumped about it.
I really am.
Yeah. And the Swannies Style Segment, folks. And Trot Golfer says, Matt looks amazing in the Swannies. I greatly appreciate it. I got the Barrett polo on right now. Well, and we were talking about it just before we came on the live, that their polos, Buttsy can see this. You guys probably cannot. But there's a little pattern in here. Yeah. And it's like Swannies does a good job with these to where it looks like a solid polo, but there's these little subtle prints that are almost the same color, but just slightly different.
Kind of looks like, like leafless.
Yeah.
Like a leaf, but like
it's almost like a tree.
Or like a leaf without the leaf stuff on.
Actually, I think it's a piece of parsley.
Could be
just saying.
Could be a parsley.
Yeah. And Keegan is picking himself, says Trot Golfer, around, the Keegan Bradley talks, but we'll get into that. And then we've got a correction to make about the drug testing on the PGA Tour. We're going to get into that as well. Theme for this week from Run PMC says biorhythms. We might talk about that. Who the hell knows? But we also have media rights and the LIV merger, the latest updates there. Biorhythms. So I think I said last week.
Oh, you mean like where a guy peaks?
Yeah, exactly.
Seasonally? Like
yep.
Biorhythm. Okay.
Biorhythm.
Or golfers are going to say something. Make it more than it is.
So before we do get into the episode, I do want to give a shout out to Swannies Golf, which once again, folks, they keep me absolutely fresh in these polos. I also have some of their luggage and stuff here. This is the backpack. And for the past couple weeks.
Show the strap.
Yeah. I mean, how nice is this in terms of just the fabrics and everything? And I will just mention to all of you that are here live right now that we may be doing a little giveaway coming up in September. So hang tight on the luggage specifically. But there's, that's
pocket
for
right there.
Pocket there. You got the little slot so that you can put it on your suitcase.
Canine
the handle
as well at the airport, folks.
I mean, how crazy! Like, this is high end.
It's really nice shit. It's got a flight tab here. You know, like really cool. Rubberized zipper. I mean, the zippers are thick. Probably made in China. No, definitely not.
No, and here's the thing. I was going to. I'm like, do I really need more luggage, backpack stuff? And then I use that, so I've been using it. And those are our microphones.
Oh, okay.
That we use remotely.
Gotcha.
But that being said, this stuff is nice, and I certainly have used it. So I went to a member guest this weekend, used the duffel bag, by the way, remember the whole country club snob thing that I mentioned?
Yes.
Around him going away and everything? Well, one little tip that he had for everybody, which I've always abided to, is the shoe case. Hang on.
Oh, yeah. You got to walk in with
Yep, with a shoe case for your golf shoes. Take a look at that. It's got the metal logo in the bottom left there. I mean, that is just sharp. And the material is just solid. Yeah, it might smell a little bit.
Does it?
I used it.
You got the vents in the back.
You do have the vents in the back. So Swannies is doing it right, folks. So be aware that in September might be having a little giveaway of all of this luggage so that you can arrive at a member guest in style if you ever get invited to one. Mm-hmm. Member guest did not go great, but I will say utilize Pull Hook Golf 25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order.
And if you don't got legs, use it for your gloves.
Absolutely. Swannies.co, folks, is the spot to go. Swannies.co is the spot to go. I like that. That just popped off right off the top of my head. But that being said, let's get into the BMW Championship recap. We got a lot of stuff on the agenda for tonight's episode. And first off, Keegan Bradley is our winner at 12 under par. This was a tournament of just survival. And I love, you remember how pumped I was about Castle Pines and the fact that they had a tournament there. I mean, this is the first time they've been back to Castle Pines since it was a Stableford, which is a format that you love.
God, I hate that stupid format. Anyways, yeah.
So that being said, Castle Pines was a real test for these guys because the elevation fucked with them. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say it.
It was difficult, but I heard 2 or 3 guys, I think, said that it was like the best tournament they've played in their careers, like on tour.
It was awesome.
Like
I mean,
golf course and just
the golf course is incredible.
How it was put on. Yeah.
The clubhouse and the facilities there are the best that they see on tour all year round.
Yeah.
So like, I would love to see them add Castle Pines back as a staple. I don't know if the members would go for it there, and maybe that's one of the reasons. I don't know the exact reasons why they haven't been back to Castle Pines, but it's also a very long golf course, obviously over 8,000 yards, and a lot of guys were dealing with some injuries. One of those in particular, before we get to Keegan Bradley a little bit more, was Hideki Matsuyama.
Was he injured?
He was in, so he bailed out after the first round. So he played the first round, played a few holes in the second round, and claimed his lower back was hurting him. So he bailed.
Too much Chick-fil-A, dude.
Dude, that Chick-fil-A will get to
Bad
you.
for the kidneys.
There's peanut grease in there, so
Peanut grease,
hopefully he doesn't
oils.
have a peanut allergy.
They changed their chicken. A lot of people don't know that. Some people do if you're in the food world like I am. But they did change their chicken to keep prices
Wow.
where they need to be. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's why Hideki almost died this week. So
There you go. Straight up, not what you want to hear as a Chick-fil-A fan.
No.
Nope. But Hideki Matsuyama did not, but he didn't lose his spot either. He was in third spot in the FedEx Cup points. Finishes there after this. But Keegan Bradley, I mean, how impressed are you by Keegan Bradley? And it started to raise the question now, as Keegan Bradley, could he be that playing captain?
he sure the hell can, and why the hell wouldn't you? What does a captain really do anyways out there? You know, that's actually preposterous, but no, Keegan has garnered my respect, man. I wasn't always the biggest Keegan fan. I hated all the little flips and the glitching, but this dude can flat out play golf.
You know, that's funny that you say that, because that's all I heard at the member guest this weekend. Guys were sitting around at the pool and TV after the round on Sunday. We're all watching it, and everybody was pretty negative about Keegan Bradley around the fact that, oh, I don't like him. And I of course, I got to ask why, right? So I'm asking guys, I'm like, why don't you like him? Like, what's the deal? They're like, oh, well, he's kind of a dick on the golf course. He's this, he's that. But then I got to the common thread, which was they also don't like Brian Harmon. And guess what? It's because of the twitchiness. It's because it makes you feel uncomfortable watching them. So they don't necessarily, like, in their conscious mind, they're not sitting there going, I don't like him because of this.
They don't dislike him as a person.
Exactly. Yeah. It's more so that their subconscious is just like, man, this guy's tweaking me out.
I don't like how he plays golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it really kind of came down to. And then one of the guys was all about kind of, I don't understand why Keegan was picked as a Ryder Cup captain, but we got a whole segment on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that for a little bit later, but Keegan Bradley holds on. And when I say hold on, like, nobody was really going out and taking it, so to speak.
No.
Adam Scott was up there, but he struggled. Ludwig Oberg, he kind of hit a really weird shot in contention on Sunday. He was 20 yards short in the water. It just looked like he hit a fat golf shot, but he like held his pose and everything. So it threw everybody kind of for a loop on the broadcast. But he ends up with Sam Burns. Sam Burns was the only one who went out early, had a fantastic round, ends up finishing T2 alongside of Ludwig Oberg and Adam Scott at 11 under.
Okay.
So Bradley, he did have one standout shot in the final couple of holes. All right. Par 5 up the hill, hits what he claims is the best 5-iron he's ever hit in his life.
Wow.
Did you happen to see this?
Honestly, I did not.
It really was a thing of beauty.
Okay.
I mean, he had to hit it high. And I'm sitting there with a +7 at the club, right? So this kid has Canadian Tour status and so forth. And he goes, holy crap. He's like, he's going to have, in order to hit this green, he's like, from how far out he is, he's going to have to hit this thing a mile in the air.
Yeah.
And Keegan Bradley pulled it off.
He sure did.
And hit a phenomenal shot and then leaves the eagle putt short. How do you leave the eagle putt short? Oh, God, that really drove me nuts.
Twitching.
Twitchy.
Yeah, for twitch.
But Adam Scott, it's funny about Adam Scott because one of my buddies was doing bets before the event, and he asked me about Adam Scott. And I'm like, Adam Scott's a great value pick for this week, but Adam Scott, he's getting older. He's not as consistent and cannot hold it together for 4 rounds straight. Sure enough.
Did he play his first tour event at Castle Pine?
Yeah, he sure did.
Is that true?
Yeah, you caught that.
I
love that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. That's as far as you wanted to go with that one.
That's
huh?
all I got. Sorry.
Oh, I love that. Now, that being said, we got Baylor Gibbs over a new guy over here. Baylor Gibbs says,
Baylor is?
Do I know who Baylor is? Oh, I do know who Baylor is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go, boys. Love that, Baylor. Once again, thank you for everything, Baylor. You know what I'm talking about. And here's the other side to this is that as we go through a leaderboard rundown, gosh, Cam Davis, T5. Tommy Fleetwood, T5. Siwoo Kim, T5. Xander Schauffele, T5 at -10. Okay. Now, remind me, what's a name here that we are not hearing? So T9, Chris Kirk, Alex Noren at -9. T11s were Rory McIlroy and Sung Jae Im at -8.
The shuffler himself
was not there.
Dunked it in the water a couple times, I think.
Thursday, he hurt his back. So that was a visible one with Scotty Scheffler. And it's like, is Scotty's body starting to kind of give out towards the end of the year here? I mean, we've seen this story before with Scotty Scheffler going to the Tour Championship and leading the way, being the leader, getting 10 shots and not being able to close it out.
You think his body is actually giving out,
or do you think it's the biorhythms?
Well, or is it just like what somebody does when they become so used to playing well and winning that it's like the only way to explain it? Like,
I'm just surprised that his back is giving out.
I'm not. I mean, the amount of movement, like the leg and shit, like that's got to just take so much torque on your lower, like lower
definitely
right side. Yeah,
you're right. I mean,
the amount of stability that's happening every time he rips one, like, and that, I don't know. It looks like something that could, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
tweak something.
It's a good point. Run PMC here says Scotty getting on Ted as well. Run PMC, I know you've been a long time listener. You go back to the Scott Higgins days of the podcast, to where Scott Higgins, he caddies for Mito Pereira, and before Mito, he was with Scotty Scheffler. So sure enough, we got Scotty talking a bit on the podcast episode. Bobby Brown at the time did a great job of kind of getting him to open up, because he didn't really say anything too much about Scotty Scheffler initially. Then we got him going. And he goes, Scotty Scheffler is one of the toughest backs because he wants every little piece of detail, and he's not super nice to the caddy per se. And that's Scotty back in the beginning of his PGA Tour career. So, then he left Scott for Teddy, and the rest is history.
Got even more business.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor. Swannies is here with a fresh take. Performance-based materials are a given these days. But if you're looking for the stretchiest and most lightweight pieces, that deliver a look that says, I'm here for a good time. Take a walk on the Swannies side. With fabric sourced from recycled plastics and designs sourced from our very own weekend warriors, Swannies is looking out for both our planet and those that need a little style to boost their drive another 15 yards. Premium looks from top to bottom at swannies.co. Yeah, so Scotty's a tough bag. And him getting on Teddy a little bit, I think that's a little bit of frustration from Scotty Scheffler side of it. And obviously the back, Dylan Vaudry says here, the back can't do well with no lower stability. So you guys raise a very good point between Buttsy and Dylan. I guess that is valid, that with the dancing feet, he's got some lower back issues that are starting to creep in. That lower right side is what's creeping in.
Like the one that I saw him chunk in the water, you chunk one or you make a bad swing and get caught somewhere, like that's when it happens, right?
It's a good point.
Like my lower back, I struggle and it only shows up either when you come over the top or you make a really bad swing and try to save it. That's when it usually like I keep making that noise.
That noise is good.
Well, it's the best thing. I know you felt lower back pain before. And that's kind of how it goes. It's kind of like an instant, like, there it is.
Yep.
Oh shit,
it's valid.
Yeah. So
Scotty Scheffler. And again, we'll get to. I'm jumping the gun a little bit here on some of this stuff because I'm so excited about the Tour Championship this year and some of the storylines that are there. But let's get into a little Ryder Cup talk.
Okay.
Keegan Bradley. What are the odds of him being a playing captain? I know you mentioned earlier that, it's totally valid and so forth, but he did say, and this is where I'm going to curtail a little bit of my question to you around it, is he did say in the press afterwards that they made it clear the committee made it clear when they selected him that they did not want him to be a playing captain. So in his mind, he said he's probably not going to select himself as a captain's pick, that he would want to play his way onto the team. Do you think he has the potential to play his way onto the Ryder Cup team?
After the dub? Absolutely.
You know what I realized too? He has 3 wins this year.
Absolutely. Even better. Absolutely. But back to being able to, can you pick yourself?
He can.
I would probably be like, fuck it. I want to go down like the first guy. Has anybody ever done that?
I think so. Arnie Palmer, I believe he played his way onto the team at the time. I don't know what the selection process was back when Arnie was a playing captain, but he was obviously still very much in the prime of his career. Somebody else said this as well that I heard. I don't know whether it was on the media or not, but at that time, the international team wasn't that strong. So, Arnie could pick himself and be a fan favorite and,
sure,
be able to go out there, and the U.S. was going to dominate and win at the time. That's not really the case anymore.
I mean, be pretty cool, right? Like you're in your late 30s, you won 3 times this season. You picked yourself, and then you went out and won all your matches.
What I love,
and the team won.
What I do love about Keegan Bradley is that he just comes across as he doesn't give a shit what the committee has to say. Like, even when he was like, yeah, the committee made it very clear that they don't want me to be a playing captain. And then he's just like, I really don't care, though. Like,
I'm just telling you what they said. I don't really care.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. Now, Anti-Liv says Tiger will come back and co-captain with him. I don't think Tiger wants a part of the domestic U.S. Ryder Cup.
No.
Like, I think Tiger wants to go international and bring back the cup to the United States and be one of the first captains in so long to go overseas and win that cup.
Yeah, the war on the shore.
Absolutely. Dylan Vaudry. There's no way he doesn't pick himself after missing out the Ryder Cup and winning last week. So that's the other side of this. He's very jaded. And I guess it had been 40 years. I didn't realize this stat. I heard this too, that it had been 40 years since somebody with his standing wasn't a captain's pick.
Why do you think that is?
Zach Johnson and the Boys Club, man. I mean, we saw it on the Netflix. We saw it on Netflix that Zach Johnson wanted to be associated with Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, and Justin Thomas.
You think Keegan's just loving like the last year and how that's gone down for Zach?
Oh, I think he's got to be like he was buddies with Zach before this.
Right now,
what I want to know is, are they still good buddies? Like, I don't think so. I haven't heard Keegan mention anything of Zach Johnson, and that had to put
he had to have taken a step back after that.
Yeah.
And then watch this dude just completely melt down, and then have spoken altercations with fans and just feel like he's like Shooter McGavin when he's getting shit like the last round of Happy Gilmore, basically.
I agree with you. And that's a really good point in perspective around Zach Johnson and Keegan Bradley's relationship. Yeah, I didn't really think about, okay, are they still friends? Anti-Liv says Zach can go to Liv so we don't have to see him play anymore. Zach deserved a lot of the criticism, and he certainly hasn't handled it well. And this was another thing that I was talking about at the member guest, was that Zach Johnson has really showed his true colors as to the type of person that he is because of the thin skin and the things that have happened to him. Now, some of the guys were from Iowa, so they're Zach Johnson guys.
Yeah.
And they didn't necessarily love hearing that, but they kind of agreed with it. They're like, yeah, he kind of has shown his true colors.
Yeah. No, it's defining the twilight of his career is how that all went down.
Absolutely. The other side to this is that Bradley, even though he made it clear that he wouldn't be picking himself, I'm going back to this. What do you think the ramifications would be if he did?
I mean, you told me he's allowed to, right? Like there's no...
Well, he's allowed to, but he was clearly told by the committee, do not. Do you think he would be banished from Ryder Cup forever?
I don't know. I don't know. Or it goes down in history as like the biggest, U-turn that they do. And you were right all along. And we'd like to retract any statement. And yeah, I don't know. They would never come out and say that even if he won. But
I just wonder if he's in the same exact position that was like the same position to which Zach Johnson could have selected him. And he's like one slot out. Does he pick himself? Because again, it had been 40 years in between the last time something like that had happened, and I just couldn't see him passing up the opportunity.
Would you pick yourself?
Oh, fuck yeah,
Me
that.
too. And
no
does
doubt.
Keegan care? Are there any other ramifications outside of the Ryder Cup? Is this going to negatively impact the view on the rest of his career? If he does, maybe if he goes out and loses every fucking match.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but I think he's a trooper, dude.
Yeah.
I hope he does it.
I hope he does too.
That'd just be good content.
I know. And here's the interesting thing, because with Keegan Bradley and guys talking about him, I kind of gave them, hey, listen, like Keegan Bradley is actually a really good dude. Like I've heard it from multiple caddies and people that are like, no, Keegan's a great dude. It's not like he's not liked on tour by these other guys. He's just not super social with them because he's a competitor. Yeah. He's one of these guys that's like a true competitor on tour, that he kind of keeps to himself and everything, but a great guy, especially off of the golf course. Now on the golf course, be a little ornery, can be a little twitchy. Those things happen, and I get it. That's what we see on TV, but in real life, once the cameras are off and he's not playing a competitive round of golf, really nice guy, I've heard.
Do you think anybody from the Creator Classic should be picked for the Ryder Cup?
All right, so I know Kyle just put this in. The Content Creator Classic. I feel like there's got to be an asterisk because we're not a part of it, and I really think that you got to put in not only your YouTube personalities that are playing golf on YouTube, but you got to put in the podcast as well, or Twitter accounts or Instagram accounts. So you got to put them into this as well.
It's the equivalent of Zach Johnson's Ryder Cup team. It is a little boys and girls club, of follower sharing Nances, and that's who's playing.
Yeah, you hate to see the political side, but that's exactly what this is.
Yeah. there's some people, yeah, but like
Yeah. And so I get it though. Like they want the views, they want the followership. Like if we had millions of followers, which you guys are doing a great job of promoting us using word of mouth and so forth. I mean, once again, last episode we hit over 60,000 listeners. So
cool.
You guys are doing the damn deed, and we absolutely love that. The interaction and everything that you're doing, the show's getting better and better and better. But I still feel like, we should have been invited to the good old Content Creator Classic. And if Dave Portnoy ends up from Barstool doing this $1 million creator golf tournament, you have to absolutely include myself and Buttsy in that. And I just feel like, it wouldn't be
qualifier.
Somebody said that too, and I agree with that. Like, have a qualifier. Have local qualifiers throughout the country.
Yeah, like, hey, maybe make some general rules, like 10,000 plus followers. Yeah. I don't know, something that you're in the space. You literally do this like a lot. Come on out, tee it up.
Yeah, you can't just be an average Joe off of the street. Like you have to actually have a little bit of a following, little bit like there has to be some type of rules behind or eligibility requirements within
Correct.
That. So,
or at least somewhere you can submit an application to play.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now we're getting out.
We are. I'm just going to go over some of these comments here. Cart Barn guys, Kyle says the fat guy going to win it. So I think he is. I'm pulling for good old Fat Perez on that one.
Nothing against him.
No, but how great would it be if he won versus like a Brian Bro?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess.
Actually, did you see the Twitter battle between George Bryan and what was his name? There's a former PGA Tour pro and goes, this will be an embarrassment if you don't win this tournament against these content creators.
Well, he's absolutely right.
I know. And like they went back and forth on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty solid.
What's the back and forth? George just be like, yeah, I know. You're right.
George started like comparing his career against this guy's, and like it was Chris Couch is who it was. So yeah, it was pretty interesting.
They should just
Anti-Liv says 1,000 asterisk add Anti-Liv too. Love that. Car Barn guy says Paige is going to win. That'd be interesting if a woman did win, not just Paige.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've played golf with Paige, and she's probably better than everybody else except George Bryan. That's there. Real talk. Yeah. Especially if she gets to play from a tee up. Not even bullshitting. Like, if she's still got any kind of a golf game, that's probably true.
Trout, I'm not going there with the dude going through LPGA Tour school. Not touching that one with a 1,000-foot pole. I'll get into one of the reasons why as we get to the end, but I don't really touch on the LPGA Tour too much. I hope that the LPGA Tour grows. It's just not something we talk about that often here on the show because there's a bunch of stuff going on there. They just finished their basically their Open Championship.
I'd even get rid of the touching on it verbiage. It's even that.
Yeah, I'm with you. And they LPGA Tour wise, they also have the Solheim Cup. So I follow it, but it's not something that I really bring into this show all that often. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. Don't know, but we're not going to do it tonight. Now, with that said, with the Creator Classic, we didn't build a segment for this because we really didn't want to talk about it, to be honest. We might be a little bit bitter around the entire thing. I'm not that interested, but like I said, I would love an underdog like the Fat Perez to win. Had him on the show multiple times. I know you have your beefs and so forth.
No beef at all with that. Like really, it has nothing to do with him, honestly. Yeah. It's not personal.
I get it.
Especially at this point. I just think giving credibility to this whole thing, it's like stupid people leading each other to other stupid. I don't want to get into it. It makes me mad.
Now, we're going to get into the Tour Championship preview here. So this is happening at East Lake Golf Club, which it happens every single year now. And I realized why Scotty Scheffler, and it finally hit me why he was so bitter. Remember we were talking about this last week around how he had comments. He hated the fact that it's called the season-long race. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, it's not the season-long race if you can just win a couple tournaments at the end and all of a sudden you're the tour champion, blah, blah, blah,
we
right?
We discussed alternate formats we thought might be more fitting.
Match play.
Yeah, match play.
match play.
Stableford.
Definitely not Stableford, your favorite one altogether. But this is Scottie Scheffler has entered for the past 2 years. This is his third year now that he is entering the Tour Championship in the lead. However, he has lost the last 2 years. So talking about biorhythms, I know one of you brought up, I think it was Rump BMC, brought up biorhythms with golfers. And here's the thing, Scottie Scheffler's biorhythms were always in the early spring to where he won the Waste Management Phoenix Open, won the Masters. He had never won outside of, I believe, the month of May or something like that, or April.
We talked about that.
We did. And so this year was the first year that he's actually won beyond that month. And sure enough, he has never won a FedEx Cup event, and he has never won, after leading the past 2 years, the Tour Championship and obviously the FedEx Cup.
You think he'll continue to have hot years like this, or is this a one and done deal?
No, he's too good, man. Like, his game is so... The crazy thing about Scottie Scheffler, and the weird thing was, he was battling injury last week, still finished, I think, top 20, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, he might have finished mid-20s. But anyways, he really is a player that is just going to become more and more consistent. Like, his game, there's nothing super special to it. He just does everything really well. You know what I'm saying? Like, with Tiger, you could point out things that say, wow, Tiger is head and shoulders above and beyond anybody else in these areas. Scottie's not that way. He's just, and you might be able to say that about his ball striking. But
his iron play.
His iron play.
His precision with his irons. I don't know if anybody's touching that.
But he's so good everywhere else. Putting is obviously the one that we have talked about on this podcast around. That might be his biggest weakness. But Scottie Scheffler all around is so good. And his course management is something that is underrated. Like, his course management is really freaking good.
Yeah.
And Jack Nicklaus actually talked about it at the Memorial this year at that signature event that Scottie Scheffler won. And he was talking about Scottie is only going to get better because Scottie Scheffler is so good with course management and his game is just really, really good all the way around that he's not going anywhere and he's going to get better and better. So I definitely think Scottie Scheffler is that guy. And just, if he's dealing with a back injury this week, can he actually compete for the title?
I mean, yeah, if it's not bad. If it's something where you're literally getting locked up, like nobody, it's over. Will he withdraw?
No, because I think I thought at Castle Pines he was going to play really, really well because of the elevation change and everything. And then I saw the back on Thursday and I'm like, oh, shit. Like, Scottie Scheffler is not going to win this week. So I hope that his team got him. I mean, the PGA Tour has great people around to help with injuries and stuff like that, and their facilities, the mobile gyms that they bring in. I hope he's got a guy who's going to help him out and get him to where he needs to be. But that being said, I'm like, man, this is going to be interesting to see if he's going to actually be able to compete for the Tour Championship preview. A name that I was just realizing it, and I scrolled back through the notes here, is Wyndham Clark. Okay. So Wyndham Clark played well up in at the BMW Championship. I feel like I missed him in the leaderboard results. Trot, if you don't mind, where did Wyndham Clark finish? I don't have access to pull that up right now. But I know Trot Golfer's like our researcher, man. He helps out so much.
Very busy in the comments right now, though. I see a couple. Yeah. Keep that on.
We're gonna get to his comments.
Very aggressive with some of his comments as well.
I also, that is double sided of a request to Trot Golfer because he had been ripping on Wyndham Clark the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, anyways, my trainer was with him up in Colorado, and Wyndham looked really, really good for the most part. And he had a good week there. But that being said, let's get back to the good old Tour Championship. I'm all over the place tonight.
It's fucking awesome.
I'm so jazzed up. Just jazzed up. T13. That's why he wasn't on my list, but he got a top 20 there. He's in the top 10.
Played okay.
And here's the starting positions. So for those of you that are newer to the game of golf and just listen to this podcast, which I know there's some of you out there that are new to the game of golf, but love the comedic aspect that we bring to the table, the realism, bringing you kind of inside the ropes and so forth. But the starting positions and strokes for the Tour Championship. So just so that you know, based off of their points throughout the entire year up until this point, the first place player starts at minus 10.
Pole position.
That is their pole position. That's where they're starting. And that is Scotty Scheffler at minus 10. Betting odds for Scotty Scheffler plus 115. So with the 2-shot lead, the odds makers are saying he's got a really good chance to win this thing. Yeah. Then you got Xander Schauffele in second. He starts at minus 8. So Scotty Scheffler gets a 2-shot lead from the second place player. And Xander's at plus 220. You like so we'll get to our picks.
I love Xander.
Yeah, I know. It seems like a pretty gosh darn good one.
Yeah.
And Xander does love Eastlake. So yeah, there's going to be some conversations here. There might be a fighting over a pick. It really is.
He's closing now.
Hideki Matsuyama, he's at minus 7. So once again, even though he withdrew last week, he is not out of this, right? So, or he did not move spots, I should say. So he's still in third at minus 7. His odds are plus 1,200. Then Keegan Bradley made the biggest leap of all. He got into the 4th spot with that win. He's at minus 6 and at plus 4,000. You got Ludwig Oberg at minus 5. He's in 5th at plus 2,000 are his odds. Ludwig could be another one to watch out for. But, you know, Ludwig.
He's the new Xander.
I was surprised that he played so well at Castle Pines because that knee injury has been bothering him. You could literally see him on the greens, bending over and kind of catering to that left knee. So I don't think that injury is done by any means. Might be next year when we see a fully healthy Ludwig Oberg again. But that's interesting to watch out for him after he played really well at Castle Pines. Rory McIlroy is in 6 at minus 4, plus 1,800. Colin Morikawa is also there. Wyndham Clark, Sam Burns. Now, Colin Morikawa is at plus 2,800. And what's funny is the guys that are also at minus 4 in Wyndham Clark, Sam Burns, and then Patrick Cantlay. Wyndham Clark, Sam Burns are plus 5,000 for their odds. You've got Patrick Cantlay at plus 3,500. You've got at minus 3, which is 11th and 12th and 13th and 14th and 15th.
I like this crowd right here.
This crowd is a good value area. So Sung J M, he is plus 6,500.
Sahith Tigla.
He is plus 4,500. Shane Lowry is plus 4,500. Adam Scott plus 2,500. That's a surprising one right there. Tony Finau plus 2,800. Then in the minus 2s, you got Ben On. He's plus 7,000. Victor Hovland is a minus 2.
You say that?
Ben On.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's not Byung-Hoon Nane?
Well, that would be more of the natural tongue. He goes by Ben On.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Makes it a little bit more American and easy for us white people to talk about. Now, Russell Henley, he's at plus 2,800. And then you got Akshay Bhatia and so Akshay, our brown praying mantis, at plus 6,500. Got Robert McIntyre, good old Bobby Mack. He's minus 2 at plus 7,000. I don't understand these odds a little bit. So Billy Horschel, minus 1, plus 3,000. Tommy Fleetwood, minus 1, plus 2,000. Sepp Straka, plus 4,500 at minus 1. Matthew Pavon at plus 15,000.
Thrown off here, though. Like, you got guys starting in a much higher position, but with just crazy shit
Yeah,
odds.
right. It's a little bit strange to see. Chris Kirk, Tom Hoagie, plus 7,000. Aaron Rye, plus 4,500. Christian Bezadenhout is at plus 6,500. And Justin Thomas is at plus 3,000. Can anybody outside of, I would say, -3 or lower win this, in your opinion? That's 7 shots made up over 4 days. Over Scotty Scheffler's, even 5 to catch up to Xander.
It's going to have to be like a miraculous display of golf.
It really would have to be something amazing, I feel like.
Something like shot 60 and then followed it up with 62 or something. Like, yeah, they're not going to, you're not picking up 7 on old Scotty guy.
Now, from a mental standpoint, do you think Scotty Scheffler is going to struggle with the idea that, shit, I've given this up the past 2 years and not been able to win?
Well, you got that, and then you got, like we were talking about, what is the status of his back? Do odds makers stay up on that? Do they have people behind the ropes that know about the health of these players?
I know in other sports they absolutely do. Like, they know, like, if a kid has a cold or was out with a hooker the night before. Like, those are things that they absolutely know.
They're getting fed these little
100%
tidbits.
And I have to imagine that golf is the same way, that they got guys out there.
Let's take one more peek here.
Let's take a peek.
So,
because who do you like for your pick this week? I'm going to let you choose first.
And his odds are not great, but I like Sahith. I really do.
Wow.
And I like him as somebody that could make up that ground in that spot. And it's super value pick too. So he's starting at 3. He's plus 4,500. I just don't think we've heard from him in a minute. He might pop up.
Yeah, no, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I will say, I think Xander Schauffele wins this one. I think Scotty Scheffler is going to once again fall short of getting that elusive tour championship. And then the debate's going to come up, right? Everybody's going to start talking about who had the better year, Scotty Scheffler or Xander Schauffele. We have already talked about this, that if Xander does win it, that it's still not a competition.
No.
So, but the media is going to try to make something out of nothing. With that, we probably will as well. We'll probably have a whole segment over the fact of who's going to be player of the year.
Yep.
Scotty Scheffler. But that being said,
Who do you like in that zone, though?
That's the thing.
The -3.
I'm going to tell you, man, Wyndham Clark has had some confidence. The putter is going, and I really like his game at Eastlake. Eastlake matches up with somebody that can hit a fade. So, and Wyndham Clark plays a fade all day long. So I like Wyndham Clark. I know I've been high on him the past couple of weeks, ever since the Olympics. I just saw a shift in him, and he's close enough to do some damage. So I like Wyndham Clark. He was, by the way, I had a buddy ask me, he's like, who is your seal? Like, who is a guarantee top 20 last week at Castle Pines? And I go, Wyndham Clark.
Is it because you like train at the same gym as him? Is there?
It's not. I've been high on Wyndham Clark since before he won and broke out at the Wyndham Championship.
You like his game,
or at the Wells Fargo? I forget which one it was.
You like?
It was game? It was in Charlotte, and I happen to really like. I like the fact that he can bomb the ball.
Yeah.
He hits a controlled fade or a cut, and is a great putter.
Okay.
So those to me are recipes for being able to play really good golf. Now, Colin Morikawa, Sam Burns, or Patrick Cantlay. Cantlay could be a sleeper.
Yeah.
Well, I like Wyndham too because he's plus 5,000. Like, gives you a little extra money,
a little
in
more
there.
meat to the potato. Yeah.
You know, Colin Morikawa is at plus 2,800, but I think that's going to be a tough one for him to catch up. You know, Rory McIlroy always plays Eastlake really well, so he's got to have a chance at this. And I think Rory's had a tough year, right? So this could be a big one for him. He had that little breakout moment when he won with Shane Lowry as a team, and then all of a sudden the next week he goes and wins the Wells Fargo over Xander, has that awesome Sunday round, and then we really didn't see a whole lot from Rory after that. So I just wonder if Rory's got something for us this week because, once again, he plays Eastlake really, really well. So we shall see.
I mean, he's going to be in the mix, right?
He's got to be in the mix.
Yeah.
He's always in the mix at Eastlake. I was watching 10 years ago, Tiger Woods, or I don't know how many years ago it was. I think it was 20.
You don't think there's any way he misses the cut?
No.
No.
There is no cut.
No, I'm sorry. What's he starting at?
Oh, he's starting at -4.
Not the fucking cut, idiot.
Yeah, he's at the -4 slot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's missing the cut.
Definitely missing the cut. Now, that being said, since we just
snorted.
threw off people completely, there is no cut this week.
There's always a cut.
But there is always a cut.
Mentally.
Oh, yeah.
That throw you off there a little bit?
2018 Trot Golfers Right. That's what I'm thinking of because Golf Channel had it on. I popped on Golf Channel. At lunch sometimes I will just pop on the TV and pull up the Golf Channel. And they were replaying the 2018 when Tiger won, but Justin Rose was the winner of. Can you believe Justin Rose was #1 golfer in the world in 2018? That wasn't that long ago.
It is, though.
It's crazy.
It really is.
And he's a guy that had to qualify to get into the Open Championship this year. Isn't that crazy?
It really is.
So, but Tiger at Eastlake, and then Rory was there as well. So Rory had a chance then. And Rory, once again, just plays really well at Eastlake. Rory also has that great moment to where he had a long iron, tried to hit it over the water and just chunked it right into the water. So, and I think that was on, what hole is that? Jesus.
I might watch this entire tournament.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
I think this has a lot of intrigue, especially because Scotty Scheffler might not be 100% healthy. So that brings in, and if Xander plays like Xander has all year long, he could run away with this thing.
I mean, I might wait to see who makes the cut and then watch from there, but yeah.
There is no cut. There's only 30 players.
There's a cut.
This is LIV Golf at its finest.
Low 12 and ties after Thursday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the Swannies Style segment since we are, just absolutely trucking tonight. The Swannies Style segment, and this actually was a discussion that came up around Adam Scott. There was one guy in the group this weekend who said, I don't like Adam Scott.
Why?
And that was the immediate question that I had to ask. I'm like, why do you not like Adam Scott? Is it because of his handsome, good looks and his great, beautiful golf swing? He goes, no man should have both. God should have given him a shitty looking golf swing. And it resonated a little bit. I'm like, shit, man, you're kind of right. Like, this guy's got it all, but he doesn't have the career necessarily.
I think but everybody's a little jealous of Adam Scott.
Yeah.
But in an appreciable way.
But he did say the one thing that brings him back down to earth that he can't stand about him either is that he wears khakis.
Yeah.
So I ask you, since I did see a little Instagram post over the weekend from you up in Payson wearing khaki shorts. So I ask you the question.
And short ones too.
Yeah, they were short. You almost couldn't see
Moose
him.
knuckle just floating out.
It was incredible, folks. If you haven't seen it, go on to Butsy's Instagram account.
Don't zoom in.
Do not zoom in. Yeah. You'll thank us for not zooming in. But I will ask you the question anyways for the Swannies Style segment. Do you like khakis on the golf course?
I fucking love khakis. I think khakis are like the hallmark of golf. Some of the best players of all time, khakis. I wish they would bring back like the beltless pant.
Ooh.
Canary yellow, blue. Not talking about like LARPing from the 50s here. I mean, like those guys over at Nation Golf. You'll follow them if you want to watch that. But no, I like khakis, and I like pleats.
I love pleats. I'm a big pleats guy.
I wish they'd bring them back. Like,
yep, same.
Looked so good on tour.
Oh,
yeah, like looked like you could walk into a boardroom after you got off the golf course. Like,
yeah,
just a really clean, professional look.
Now it's going to be hot in Atlanta this week. It's going to be very humid as well. Do you think khakis fit in that environment as well?
I mean, I don't know. Some of these fabrics now, like you don't even have to worry about swamp ass anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you on that because Swannies has this performance material that's absolutely incredible. Yeah. little pitch for them. But that being said, they also have some joggers, some pants that they've come out with recently. In addition to the shorts, I'm a big fan of the shorts because it's got that little, it has like the Swannies lettering in around the waistband that have like that sticky material to it so that your polo doesn't rise up if you decide to tuck it in.
They better be watching this because you are doing a job tonight for Swannies Golf. I mean, holy shinto. No, the Dockers though. Remember the Dockers?
Oh, the Dockers.
And it just looked
thick
like
khakis.
East Lake, and you'd have like a South Lake right around your butthole. Like, you just,
dude, this is why the Swannies Style segment
Full
has become
flood.
a fan favorite.
100%.
People love this segment because khakis, Dockers, and swamp ass.
Oh, remember Hal Sutton?
Got lakes everywhere.
Some of the shit that he used to, he had.
Oh, Hal Sun was a big khaki guy.
He was a khaki guy, but he also had like capris on, like up here, like his polo stopped like right here at the middle of his fucking forearm. Be the right number today. Shout out Strata.
Oh my God, he was a Strata guy.
Oh, yeah.
What a reference. What a
yeah.
throwback reference. That is incredible. Now, you really threw me off on that one, but there is the like silky type of khaki pant as well. That's the one we need the pleats to come back.
Yes.
In that silky tiger material.
Cashmere.
Yeah.
Lots of cashmere. Tiger with the long flowing. That had, like, I had some cheap ones. I think they were called Savain, custom tailored to me because I was like a 61 waist then. And
that's
no, it wasn't that.
No, that's sumo wrestler status right
It's
there.
actually bigger than that. But yeah, no. I think they were Savain. You could buy them at like a nice little place called Steinmart.
Remember Hager?
Oh, do I remember? Big purveyor of Hager clothing today. Pretty regularly. They still have it at Wally.
They do? That's awesome.
It's right next to Massimo.
Oh, that's fantastic stuff.
Yeah, but I'm with you. Khaki, long-winded answer there. Pleats, bring it back. The air would come up in there. Remember Tiger hit his shot and they'd just be flowing like a flag?
Oh,
just
absolutely.
majestic. When it just, the whole shape, it was awesome.
Yep.
The ball looked so much more ripped
Oh,
in the baggy clothes.
I love baggy clothes. I always have. I was a basketball player. Love the baggy pants, shorts, shirts, hoodies. Love that. So yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into our next segment, which is around a bit of a correction, okay? Around the drug testing on the PGA Tour. This has been going on for a couple of weeks. Buttsy and I have been talking about this off air, as well as you brought it up on air last week. Because I had some caddies that were letting me know that, the tour had stopped. And this was over the past couple of years. So I hadn't talked to a lot of caddies like recently about drug testing. It kind of went by the wayside with the PGA Tour. But it made sense, right? That the PGA Tour wasn't drug testing because LIV Golf and the threat from LIV Golf of taking players or stealing players over to their side. So maybe they didn't want to ruffle feathers of players, but this has been squashed by multiple caddies now that you've talked with. You were the one that started it because you're like, hey, what do you think about this? Started with the whole Graham McDowell, LIV drug testing. But you want to comment on what you were told by these guys, as well as we'll kind of get further into the correction here in a second.
It was just basically that I brought it up. Hey, I've kind of heard that the drug testing has gotten a little lax or non-existent at all. Maybe it's come back recently, but what's your take? I've talked to a couple close confidants. They're like, absolutely not. Don't know where you heard that. Started naming people, their own players included. Absolutely been testing, and I don't know where you got that. It's been going on.
Yeah. So then,
that's just what I heard. So
it led me to, especially so one caddy, I'm like, okay, maybe he's a little bit like frustrated by the question and so forth. How dare you? Because some people that are associated with the PGA Tour get very offended by even asking a question like that. So I'm like, all right, one off. Then you called me over the weekend. You had a caddy with you in the car as you were coming back from Payson. And, you guys both were on the phone chatting with me and giving me the insights there as well. And I'm like, holy cow. I'm like, let me do a little bit more digging, because now that there's multiple people that are telling me something, I need to now go, because it's been stated on this podcast that the tour had stopped.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, folks? It had not. So one thing in particular, and this is where when I talk about getting a little bit too close to the sun, so to speak, a little bit of backlash from the tour side to it. And the one thing that I will say is that the tour has continued to test throughout this period, even though LIV has existed and so forth. Now, the one thing I will mention as well,
be an asterisk there.
One thing that and so as soon as this went down, and I told you, I was like, I don't like saying something on the podcast that isn't 100% accurate.
For sure.
So let me go, and I need to do some reconnaissance work here as well. So I started picking every single PGA Tour caddy that I know. I started hitting up agents, and I told you, I was like, man, there's one agent in particular that I'm like, let me reach out to him because he's going to know.
Yeah.
And
shoot me straight, bud.
The thing that I was told is that, yes, drug testing has still gone on during that time. However, the one caveat to all of this is that certain guys have been drug tested more than others. Now, they wouldn't give me names, wouldn't give me details around that, and they kind of left it as, you need to go figure this out.
And we're to assume that that's based on bad luck.
Randomness is the word.
Oh, is it?
And that's the one thing that I was like,
saying,
yeah, it's the randomness. Was if you go down a rankings list.
I thought you were going to say rabbit hole. It's like, we already did that.
Oh, I was like, I'm a dog with a bone right now. I cannot stop. I just have to keep on going with this. And I'm asking everybody. I'm asking everybody. And even the guys that were like, yeah, drug testing has gone on, I would start to ask about their players. What about your guy? How many times were they drug tested? And the bigger the player, or the higher the ranking, the less.
I bet they would never, ever drug test Tiger.
I cannot comment on this.
If he said, I'm going to fucking play this event, it might be one of my last, he's not getting randomly drug tested.
So
it's not going to happen.
Just so that everybody is aware, like, some of this can be backed up by the fact that Tiger Woods, he wants to play in more events next year. And guess what? The policy board went ahead and approved him to be exempt into every single Signature Series event. So it's like, okay, if they're doing those type of exceptions, then what's to say that they're just going to all of a sudden not have a random drug test for Tiger? Like, but these are the things that like need to be talked about, that the tour, and once again, it's like, oh, some of the guys that we were talking to are like, oh yeah, we know guys that have been popped this year for drug tests. Well, guess what? You have no idea who they are, because the tour keeps all the suspensions. They don't announce them. They don't provide it to the public. And this is one of the things that I have a big problem against the LIV Golf side of, keeping too much private. And they don't give enough details out to the fans. They don't
tour test for weed?
So that was one thing that did get passed by the tour, I believe this year, that they no longer test for weed. It's not that they don't test for weed, it's that it's not illegal anymore or banned on the PGA Tour.
Baseball did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And they were kind of, okay.
So that's an interesting one, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's our correction, so take it as it is. You can read between the lines when it comes to this. We were pretty not so gray area, though, with the whole Tiger comment.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah. And that's pure speculation, by the way. There is nothing that we have been told in regards to Tiger one way or the other. So I just want to add that disclaimer there.
Strictly entertainment.
Strictly entertainment purposes
and
only.
If he did fail and they did test him, you better believe it'd be his fucking back acting up that week.
Well, we do have some examples of that with a player named Dustin Johnson. Yeah. Remember when he got suspended for cocaine?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it was, Dustin's taking some time off right before the Ryder Cup, right?
Fell down the stairs.
Oh, that was the Masters. That was a whole different scenario.
Different one. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, these things do happen, and we necessarily don't get clear answers around it. So our job is to bring you guys this information so that you can decipher it too, that it's not just this hidden secret. I know the tour does not like that.
They should bring those like airport drug dogs out there on the range and just let them attack people that have cocaine in their bags.
The amphetamines and the cocaine are not allowed on tour. Those are still banned.
Just take the chain off and just woo, 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 just let them.
Oh no!
Yeah. Can you imagine Matsuyama gets tackled by a fucking dog? What the hell? No, he's been hiding it in the.
Oh gosh, so good.
Graphite design 3-wood shaft.
So good.
Filled with pills.
All right, so that's
strictly for entertainment purposes. That's not
strictly for entertainment purposes. We do not condone the blowing of in your nose of cocaine. Okay,
or any other place.
No gummies, guys. Okay, all right. Keep your teeth. Media rights, LIV merger. Let's get into it. Here we go. This is the other part of this episode that you guys, anybody who has stayed on, this is what you wanted to stay on for. Because one of the things that Buttsy and I were talking about after one of our episodes recently was around media rights. And granted, I've just taken it for granted that everybody knows this, that, and we got talking and you're like, dude.
Your story was actually ended up being a little different after you got like solid. Like,
little bit, but not crazy.
You proposed what you thought. Like you thought maybe. We found out it's like maybe not that strict, but it is pretty strict.
Well, so let's go over this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because the PGA Tour, all right, and this is one of the reasons why the LIV merger was going to be complicated and why players just couldn't come over from LIV and play on the PGA Tour. And I actually had this conversation with a PGA Tour pro back earlier in the year. And they're like, Matt, do you realize that like players can't just, one of the reasons why LIV guys can't come back is because they own their media rights on LIV Golf. They cannot own their media rights on the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour is the exclusive owner of your media rights.
Yeah.
So here's how it goes. Media rights ownership. The PGA Tour requires players to sign away their exclusive media rights at the beginning of each season, meaning they can't independently produce, distribute, or monetize content like videos or highlights of their own shots or events without the tour's permission. Mm-hmm. The tour controls all broadcast and digital footage from its events. Now, that's a pretty broad statement, right? Because they own the players' media rights. It doesn't necessarily just say that it's of PGA Tour events.
It basically gives them free reign to police whatever they feel like oversteps those bounds.
Pretty much. Now, let's get into the content creation restrictions. So even when a player shares content on their social media, they may face strict limitations. Okay. The tour is highly protective of its media rights, monitoring even short clips or viral moments shared on platforms like Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that we talked about was around, okay, players, are they actually allowed? And this is what you were saying in the beginning around the fact that I was like, I don't think they can have a YouTube channel.
No, like what Bryson's doing, like no.
And that's the conversation we got into. And you're like, whoa, this is crazy that like they're not able to do this. So just a clarification on this. They can. However, it's a gray area and it's limited and there's red tape because casual or unofficial matches. All right. Players can participate in a casual or unofficial match like YouTube content or a charity event, as long as it doesn't conflict with PGA Tour events or involve competing tours.
Like same weeks and shit like that.
So it can't be like if they missed a tour event and that weekend they went out and filmed a Bob Does Sports. Now, I do know from a specific, from specific instances, like when Bob Does Sports did their episode with Max Homa, it was during the middle of the week. It was actually before a PGA Tour event. Max was taking off that week, but he would have needed, if it wasn't in the middle of the week, let's say that they wanted to go out on a Friday or Saturday or even a Thursday, that he would have needed to apply for a waiver in order to go participate in that.
During a competing time frame, like essentially. That's what you're saying, right?
It is. He would need to get an exemption from the PGA Tour in order to go do that.
And I know you're going to get into it, and the reasoning behind this is they're protecting their sponsorship assets, right? Is that
so they believe that their media is the holy grail and where they have the most amount of value. Okay.
My hair's looking fucked up because the green screen's kind of cutting into it, and we can't have that. Go ahead.
So looks good now.
It's still this little piece with how it's cut.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Go ahead.
Okay, you're going to be like Ray Charles out here. Just head up. Now, that being said, they can create a YouTube channel of their own, but there's so much red tape around it that nobody does. We haven't seen it yet where a PGA Tour player, other than the Bryan Bros, technically are
tour players.
So, and they're YouTube personalities.
But they're not using any tour content on their channel, and it seems like they're not conflicting with PGA Tour timeframes.
Exactly.
So if you were, Adam Scott, you wanted to come out with a fucking lesson series on YouTube, it seems like as long as you're not at a tour venue or utilizing, well, here's a shot I hit in the 1999, blah, blah, blah. You're going to notice I made this swing. Can't post that, then you're good. But it's still very limiting. And the fact that you can't, like, if the tour doesn't say that you can post the shot from that week. Now, here's another thing. What if somebody films it with their cell phone?
Nope. PGA Tour sanctioned event.
Like a guy at the event gets a cool angle of you holding out. You don't use the tour's version of that. You use that. Is that?
So if you read your ticket when you go into a PGA Tour event, I did this for the Waste Management Open. The PGA Tour can limit that, and they do hold the actual rights to that video that you took at their event.
So you're signing that away just by being on
and purchasing a tour or purchasing.
I mean, look, their brand. I do get it a little bit. And I'm not trying to agree at all, but they probably are getting paid a shitload of money to, let's say, hey, we're going to put out this clip and we're going to put John Deere on it because John Deere paid us fucking $60 million. Now, you did say that they redistribute a percentage of those earnings, right, back to the players.
At the end of the year, there's the PIP.
But how's that? It's distributed. That's how they distributed that money? So you're not guaranteed any portion of. Yeah, see, that's fucking bullshit. They're just pocketing all that. Players not getting shit.
It's tough. It's definitely not something. And that's one of the reasons why a guy like Phil Mickelson, if you guys remember going back when Phil was suspended, right? And yes, Phil was suspended because he talked about the Saudis. However, he also was huge in talking about media rights and that it wasn't right that the PGA Tour had their exclusive rights to all media and so forth. And that was one of the big reasons why they wanted to break away and join LIV Golf so that they could do that. Now, it certainly has opened up the door for a guy like Bryson DeChambeau to play in all these matches and everything and to do this break 50 deal and to be making millions of dollars from YouTube in particular.
He's fast because he's fast where he's going to make more off that than he He does playing golf, even though he got such a massive amount of money from LIV. If he hadn't got the money from LIV and just went off making content, he'd probably be making more money doing that than playing golf.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Trot, that you bring up Adam Scott. I'm going to bring up your comment once again.
Yeah.
Because he does have a channel. It's called Fair Game Golf. I totally
really?
get it. That's a company that he invested into. He's a part owner of that company and has been a pretty big advocate for it. So there's a sponsorship aspect to that, which the PGA Tour has always been pretty lenient when it comes to if it's a sponsor that you can participate in, obviously commercials, but even then you can't use shots and so forth from that. But Adam Scott for a while was skirting the line with the PGA Tour because he was reposting content that was being recorded from a TV. So like it would be his agent or whoever would be recording, watching the broadcast on TV and post that on social media on Adam Scott's account. So Adam Scott's always kind of been at the forefront of all this when it comes to it. And he's always kind of pushed boundaries around that. So I know the PGA Tour tends to look the other way sometimes just because it's part of the gray area and they don't want to get into it. Mm-hmm. Now, Jeff Mossbrucker said that Phil said they had to give like $2 million to the PGA Tour, but he can't remember why.
I wonder if we can find that article.
Yeah, I might have to get back to that one next week.
Let's look that up tonight and chat about that one. I want to know what's going on there.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Now, Anti-Live says stupid policy, have a revenue and advertisement share agreement. I feel like the PGA Tour felt like, oh, well, we're going to do the PIP and we're going to pay out to the biggest guys because those are the guys that would be making all the money here.
Well, this is
that's not necessarily the case.
It's not fair. I mean, guys that aren't on TV that much aren't going to get shit, right? Like, so how do you portion out a fair amount based on what kind of content do they go by? Hey, it's up to them who they show as well.
Yeah.
They could even have like top 5 and one guy's smoking a cig or something and he's playing his ass off. They don't show him at all. Like, I don't know. That's a tough one. Like, how do you distribute it? And
I like the way Kyle put it. Attitude would always win out over ability.
For sure.
And that's where, they have some type of metrics. Now, try to ask anybody from the PGA Tour, how is the PIP? How do you guys actually rank this? What aspects do you actually use? And it is such a convoluted answer because I've asked this question.
What's the point system? Like what?
It's so convoluted. They had the way that they even describe it is so bad. It's just like, oh, well, we take a look at all their social media stuff and how many followers and likes and all this and that. And then we look at, our own content and so forth that we put out over the players and what we use. And it's just it's so convoluted and there's no clear answer to it.
You're paying people, like Kyle says, based off how entertaining they are, not how they're playing golf.
That's how they should. But
that's what people are watching for as well, though, right? Off the golf course and how they promote the tour, and they're going to garner more views, even if they're the best in the world and they're a nerd that sits at home. They're not going to get shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they shouldn't get paid for that.
I agree. Now, when it comes to the LIV merger. All right. And by the way, it's still radio silence on all fronts around the LIV PGA Tour merger. Apparently, and I did ask around, I had one of our audience members who happens to be pretty prominent in business, and they reached out to me privately and asked about the fact that, you should look into this and this is what's going on. Well, I will say this. There is some legitimacy to what he actually said around the fact that, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, that the U.S. government is a big issue behind whether or not this deal would actually go through. Because the U.S. government does not want the Saudis to be owning golf and to be a major owner of the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't know how much I can clearly state around this other than the fact that media rights were kind of figured out with all of this, but ultimately it's come down in the stall has really happened from the U.S. government's side of things. And that They can't get around the red tape when it comes to this.
Okay.
So with this deal not going through, the one thing that I'm very curious about is these contracts that may be coming due or coming up and expiring at the end of the year. A Bryson DeChambeau, maybe a Brooks Koepka, maybe like some of the original guys that went over that may be out of contract now. What's going to happen with them? And the other thing is, how long are the Saudis going to be willing to dump money into this?
Couple more years, probably.
Because it's a significant loss that they've
bet they get a
had
one-year
every
deal.
single year.
They probably re-sign like a 1-year deal. Yeah. Or a season or whatnot.
It'll be interesting if no merger ever happens. What ends up happening to LIV Golf? What is going to be that story that we tell our grandkids?
I think it's got some time left. I think they'll foot the bill for a couple more years at least, I think. If I had to guess. But the foundation of consistency is a sound pre-shot routine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's 100% accurate. Thanks, Kyle, for sharing that. There it is. The foundation of consistency
he said it too. Wow.
is a sound pre-shot routine.
We're on the same page. That's crazy.
Dylan Vaudry asks, and you kill me. You guys kill me because the dynamic between you two, you and Kyle from Cart Barn, guys, it's funny, man. It's funny. The dynamic between you two.
What do you mean?
Just that relationship between you.
Barely know the guy.
Yeah, terrible. Now,
fucking weirdo.
That being said, as we start to wrap up this episode, we absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. If you are not subscribed or not following to the show, the podcast yet, make sure to absolutely do that. Like our episode on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you are. Add an extra like in there for us, all right? We greatly appreciate it. It helps the algorithms.
For real.
And for this episode, that wraps this episode up. Now, folks, if you want great gear, if you want luggage, if you want lifestyle, Swannies.co. Utilize Bullhook Golf 25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order at Swannies.co. Same bat time, same bat channel next week, folks. I can't even see where I end this thing. But, folks, once again, thank you. We appreciate it. Peace out.